In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the things that kept me broke for a long time. Now you're probably doing some of these things. So please, if your goal is to make more money so you can become financially free, be smarter than me. Learn from my mistakes. Smart people learn from their own mistakes, sure, but people who are even smarter than that, first of all, they learn from the mistakes of others. And then, sure, they learn from their mistakes too. First up on the list, we've got instant gratification. So instant gratification is basically going to be any kind of activity that's easy and that gives you quick, cheap dopamine. For example, browsing the internet endlessly for hours, doom scrolling, eating some junk food, going on adult sites, playing video games, listening to music for hours and hours and hours. Now, some of these activities give you way more dopamine than others. For example, fapping is gonna give you more dopamine than simply eating a piece of cake. That being said, the problem with these instant gratification activities isn't that, for example, if you eat a piece of pie or a cake, then all of a sudden you are a weak-willed person and you will never achieve anything in life. No, obviously not. And nor am I telling you, never eat a piece of cake ever. It's stupid. When you see people going what they call monk mode, meaning they're gonna work extremely hard for example, 28 days, with no distractions, no instant gratification activities, etc., they're not going to do it forever. You cannot sustain this rigid lifestyle without any instant gratification forever. So if from time to time you want to watch a movie, it's fine. You just have to be smart about it. Let's take two different scenarios. Let's say your goal is to be more productive so you can make more money for your business. Okay, it's a pretty challenging goal. It's not gonna be easy. There's a reason why 99% of people fail to build profitable online businesses. But the good news is it's never been easier to win. Nowadays, really, to make more money than 99% of people, all you've got to do is to start making content, sell a digital product, and if you can do this for 5 to 10 years, the results will honestly shock you. But most people don't have the balls to stick to it, and so they never get to that point. That's what happens. But let me give you an example. Let's say you wake up, it's 10 a.m., you go watch a movie, you go on adult sites, then you have McDonald's for lunch, and then you need to do 2 hours of deep work on your business so that you can reach your actual goals. Well, how productive are you actually going to be? How high is the quality of your work going to be? It's probably not going to be that good, right? I think we can agree on that. You're going to be lethargic, you're not going to want to do anything difficult, and if you try, it'll probably be shit. Let's just be honest. However, let's say you got up earlier. Doesn't have to be 5 a.m. necessarily. You can wake up at 8 or at 7, depending on what works the best for you. Me personally, I function the best when I wake up early, between 5 to 6 a.m. If I start waking up after 7:30 or 7:30, I don't know, but it just messes up everything. I'm lethargic. It just doesn't work for me to be a night owl. I much prefer to be an early bird. Not to mention that when you get up early, it gives you this boost. In terms of, oh, I'm doing something that most people aren't willing to do. I'm waking up earlier so I can work on my goals, on my dreams. How powerful is that? That is self-love. Self-love isn't what you see in the movies. Self-love isn't sitting on the couch with a tub of ice cream and just, binge watching Netflix. Self-love is showing to yourself your goals matter and you're going to do whatever it takes to actually achieve them. And the problem is, oftentimes, doing the work that you need to grow your business, it's gonna be boring. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because it's always doing the same thing over and over again. Most people think it's about this new shiny tactic. It's really not. It's about doing the same thing over and over and over again. And the problem is, for your brain, it's always going to be so much more exciting. It's always going to be so much more fun to go and binge watch Netflix, to go eat some junk food, to go on adult sites, anything, to play video games, than it's ever going to be to just work on your business relentlessly. Your phone is always going to give your brain a much greater dopamine hit than sitting down at your desk and doing the work that can sometimes be boring. So for that reason, I'm gonna put it in S tier, because it's the number one thing that will keep 99% of people broke. They don't have enough urgency in their life, that's why they don't change, and also, they're surrounded by instant gratification, so it becomes pretty easy to just do nothing all day and that's it. And then before you realize it, months go by, years go by, and you're still just as broke and you still haven't reached your goals. So you have to be very, very careful when it comes to instant gratification. Like I said, you can't fully get rid of it. Even when people do extreme periods of work, I mean, they do it for like 30 days and then they have a break. If you want to take away one thing from what we just talked about and you want to apply it in your life every single day, it's that you want to have your priorities in the correct order. First, do the hard stuff that will help you to reach your goals. And then at the end of the day, if you want to watch a movie or play some games, if and only if you've done everything you needed to do to reach your goals, then see if that works for you. Or if it's a slippery slope and then you end up just doing more instant gratification stuff at the expense of your goals. If that's you, then it's better if you just lock in for 30 days and then for 3 to 5 days you just relax and have fun and do whatever you want. You have to find the approach that works best for you. And the way you do is by trying out both and seeing how you feel. How's your work productivity? How much more money do you make? Now, by the way, I quickly want to say, I've literally been able to make thousands of dollars per day selling digital products online. By digital products, I mean online courses and high-ticket programs. For a limited time, in the description below, you'll find a free video teaching you more about this business model, why it's the best, how it works, and why you're stupid and why you're missing out if you don't sell digital products on the internet in 2025 and in the years to come. And right now, I'm also offering free strategy calls with me directly or a member of my team to help you understand what's blocking you from making more money and how you could turn your skills, your passion, or your interest into a full-blown online business that makes at least 5k to 10k per month. So when you're done watching this video, definitely check out the link in the description below, watch the free video, book your call before all the spots are taken. And with that said, let's continue the video. Next up on our list is going to be watching adult content, you know exactly what I mean, and fapping excessively. Like, look, it's natural that you want to fap at some point because it's just your body's needs, whatever, you're gonna get horny no matter what you do. And you don't even need adult films to get horny, it's just a natural thing. So you can't really, shut down those urges. However, you can give in to them less, or you can just do it strategically. If you go on adult sites and you start watching that kind of content, it's gonna give you so much dopamine, like, it is unparalleled. It gives you more dopamine than working on your business, that's for sure. It gives your brain more dopamine than just going to the gym or running. It gives your brain more dopamine than playing video games, eating junk food, or all these other instant gratification activities, even like gambling. The problem with that is that when you release all that sexual energy, it is literally the most powerful energy source in your entire body. Why? Because think about this, procreation is at the center of life. I mean, you and I wouldn't be here today if two people didn't decide to, at some point, do stuff in the bedroom. And the three big things you can notice is that first, you lose energy. Like a ton of guys, they do it before they fall asleep. And now they have to do it, otherwise they can't fall asleep. Like it got that bad. Like with any addiction at first, for example, even just drinking coffee, you drink a bit of it, you feel the boost in energy with coffee at least, and then you need to drink more and more to feel the same energy boost, or now you need to drink your coffee to not feel like shit. So that's why addictions are so dangerous. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is, well, now you have no more energy to do any of the things that you want, and it's a time suck. If you spend like a few hours finding the clips you want to climax on and whatever, it is literally wasting so much of your time you could be putting into just growing your business or focusing on other parts of your life, improving your relationships. Not to mention that it's probably going to give you unrealistic ideas or desires that you didn't have before, like really fucked up weird desires. And then it's going to fuck up your relationships because now you've got this mismatch between what you think you want to do and what you can actually do, or what is real and what isn't. And I don't think it's that good for your brain to see like hordes of naked bodies all in one go, when in the entire history of humanity, we've never had access to anything like it. Except if you were maybe a king or you had a harem or whatever, but still, the biggest thing is the time suck and the energy release. So for that reason, I'm gonna put it at the top of the list, S tier. Because some people are heavily addicted to. Like, especially if you are heavily addicted, it's gonna take so much mental and physical energy and time from you. It's gonna be absolutely horrible. So for that reason, I'm gonna put it in S tier. You want to be very careful and you want to try avoiding watching adult films or adult content as much as possible. Now, what about nofap, you may ask? Well, it's a good thing to do to retain your energy, but if you fap like twice a month or once a month when you get to that level of control, I mean, honestly, who gives a shit? Like, you're just human at some point. Unless you have somebody to do things with, then at some point, like, even if you do nothing, you're gonna wake up and the stuff is gonna be all over your bed, and you don't even know why. Now, the next thing on the list that kept me broke, and this one is huge, and it's kept so many people broke, again, I would know, because I've spoken to hundreds of people about it, it's dropshipping. Now, to quickly sum it up, if you don't know, Dropshipping simply means you're typically going to resell what people call a winning product. So basically you see on social media a physical product becoming pretty popular, and then you essentially go find that product on AliExpress or on Shopify. You make a store around it, and to get customers, you can try to do TikTok organic, meaning you make social media posts on TikTok or other platforms. You can pay influencers to promote your product, or send them a free product so they actually review it to their followers. Or the other thing you can do is typical paid advertising. You go on Facebook ads, on TikTok ads, even YouTube ads, and you try to get your product sold. It sounds like a great way to get started making money online because you don't have to make a product or show your face. You can be the brand, not the person behind the brand, and tons of people like that. I understand why they want to stay anonymous, that's fine. But there is a huge problem with this business model. You think you can get started with dropshipping for not that much money. In reality, you need at least $5,000 to $10,000 realistically if you want to get a shot at making your dropshipping business successful. Back when I was still in high school with my best friend, we decided to give dropshipping a try. Guess what ended up happening? We did everything we were told. We found a great winning product. We saw it was selling like hotcakes for the competition. We built a store around it. We launched some Facebook ads. And we actually got our first sale within only 30 minutes of launching our first ever Facebook ad campaign. So that was insane. Like, I never believed in dropshipping, to be honest with you, from the start, because I could clearly see its flaws. Like, even if you sold like something for $50, how many sales would you need to get to $10,000 per month? And especially like 10K in profit, not revenue, 10K in profit. I mean, let's just do the math together. If you wanted to make $10,000, you'd need to sell $250 items. And on average, people get a 10% profit margin. So really, you've only made $1,000 out of those $10,000. So you would need to make $100,000 with a 10% profit margin to make 10K. You need to make $100K per month with dropshipping to get 10K. Do you realize how insane this is? And that's before taxes, by the way. That's after all the costs like the product, the shipping, the site, the softwares, the refunds, the returns, etc. Not to mention the amount of customer service nightmares you're basically going to have to deal with on a daily fucking basis. Now look, back in 2015, dropshipping was a great business model because very few people were actually doing it. It wasn't that saturated. Profits were much higher, like at least 20-30%, and you could just blow up your store really quickly with not that much money spent on advertising. But nowadays, so many people have done it, like tens and tens of thousands of people, plus all the huge companies, like the huge e-commerce companies, for example, Adidas, Gymshark, Nike, all that kind of stuff. They too invest in ads, and worst of all, they invest millions into ads. And you hope you're gonna beat them by selling the same unoriginal, cheap-ass product that you found on Wish or AliExpress. What's gonna happen nowadays is people are gonna see your ad and then just go type the name of the product on Amazon. They're not gonna trust your site. They're gonna want the same-day delivery, which you can't provide because you're not Amazon. You are competing against the giants. Now, if e-commerce is your dream, in my opinion, first, you should start selling digital products online and then go ahead and start an e-commerce brand. On top of that, if you build a personal brand, you'll benefit from a large existing customer pool already when you do start your brand. So it won't be that much easier. But all in all, if you're willing to risk $10,000 at least on your dropshipping business, then yes, fair enough, you do have a shot at succeeding, but it's gonna be very difficult. Honestly, for most people, what I see is dropshipping is a lazy business model. They never want to show their face. Like, you wouldn't expect to work in real life without ever showing your face to anyone, right? It's pretty stupid. So why do people expect that they're never gonna show their face online or whatever and it's gonna work? Now sure, you can sell digital products without showing your face ever. I've seen people do it, but usually the people who do show their face make way more money. So why wouldn't you show your face? Like, you can use a fake name you can use a fake name, a shortened name, doesn't matter if you're not comfortable with using your full identity. But when people see you, they start to feel like they know you, they like you, they trust you, and that's when people buy from you. And it's much easier to tick all these boxes if you actually show your face to your audience or to people in general. So for that reason, I'm gonna put dropshipping as a thing that kept me broke in A tier. It's not gonna be S tier because it still taught me a lot about like just working hard, avoiding shiny object syndrome, because I'd keep like starting a new store about a new product. Like, I'd try to sell hoodies, then the next week I'd see somebody selling bracelets and making a killing with it, so I'd copy them and I would just jump from one thing to the next constantly. It was never ending. That being said, it showed me that yes, you can actually make money online because that's how I got my first sales, even though I wasn't profitable at all. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Now, next up on the list, we have traditional investing. Again, if you want to learn from me, you want me to show you how I've made thousands of dollars per day in profit with a simple 3-step process, really, check out the link in the description below. There's a free video that explains everything, and you can also book a free call with me or a member of my team for a limited time. And on that call, we'll see what's blocking you from making more money and what kind of digital product you could be selling around your interests, your passion, or an area of expertise that you have. I'll share with you the exact step-by-step blueprint I use to go from 0 to 5 to 10K per month online consistently as quickly as possible. So as soon as you're done watching this video, check out the link in the description below and book your free call before all the spots are taken. Now, next up on the list, we have traditional investing. So by traditional investing, I mean typically investing in things like real estate, the stock market, that kind of thing, bonds. Just forget about investing in real estate if you're poor. Like, no, don't believe all this crap about being able to invest with no down payments. It's super risky, even if you could manage it. There's just much better ways to make a ton of money and quickly, aka starting an online business, rather than just, getting paid a rent and like, yeah, sure, you'll be wealthier, but like decades down the line. And then there's investing in the stock market. People have been taught you need to have a 401k. You need to invest $200 a month in the stock market if you can. And by the way, you have to save a lot of money, right? You have to restrain yourself to never buy anything cool that you like, to never buy a $5 Starbucks coffee, to put it all in the stock market, give it to companies. And then, oh yeah, one day when you retire, you're gonna be like Warren Buffett. Yeah, because of the compound effect. You're gonna be rich. You can retire with $1 to $5 million depending on how much you invested. That sounds great, doesn't it? But my problem with this is it's people just deferring their life happiness constantly. I'm 22 years old at the time I'm making this video, and really, I don't want to wait until I'm 60, 70 to finally maybe enjoy my life. What if you spend your entire life working a career you hate or you tolerate? Like, let's face it, most people don't love their jobs, they tolerate them or they even hate them. And then you save $200 a month in the stock market or however much you can manage. And when you're 60, 70, you think you're gonna have this awesome life, travel, retire, do all the things that you dream of doing right now. But first, your taste for things might change. When you're older, you might not want to travel as much. You might have a ton of back pain, and now it's impossible to go backpacking around the world or to go mountain hiking like you've always wanted to. The people that you love might have all died. And if not all, some of them won't be dead for sure. And now, well, you lack energy, you lack libido, like you're old, let's just face it. So the quality of your life is gonna be much lower. I just couldn't understand it, how growing up in the low middle class, every adult around me, all they wanted was to just wait for retirement, and then they could finally live. I just never understood that mentality. I just never understood how people could just have a job they tolerate, and that's it. They don't try to do better. They don't try to break out of the system. They make 2K a month and like, wow, that's a great salary. Bro, 2K a month is the price for rent for a nice apartment in big cities. Like, if you make 2K a month, then you have a shitty apartment, basically. And everything that you do has to be on a budget. Like, what kind of a life is that? If you're like me, you're more ambitious than that. You want more than this cookie cutter path. And I'm not saying don't invest in the stock market. I know a ton of people just take this the wrong way. What I'm saying is, first, get rich through an online business, get to 5K, 10K per month, even more than that, hell, there's no limit. And then start investing in the stock market, real estate, even crypto, all of these things. But not at first. Things like the stock market, real estate, different kinds of investments, bonds, etc. It's great at making you richer and wealthier and fighting against inflation, preserving your buying power, if you're already rich. Not if you're an average Joe with an average salary or even a decent salary. It's like people always try to save money when really they just need to make more money. So for that reason, I'm going to put it in B tier because you should still invest in the stock market, just not right now. Like, I didn't get to the point where I made that kind of money, literally pretty much daily, on the internet at 22 years old because, like, I invested in the stock market. No, obviously not. I started a business. Now, the next thing on the list we have is following a morning routine. And as you can see, the book is literally The Miracle Morning, the not-so-obvious secret guaranteed to transform your life before 8 a.m. Now, a few years back in the self-development, online money-making niches, you started to have everybody talk about the power of having a morning routine, of waking up earlier before your day job so you can focus on different hobbies, or you can focus on your business, you could go to the gym, you can get some early sunlight exposure, regulate your circadian rhythm, all these healthy, positive habits to start the day the right way, for it to be a good, highly productive day. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a morning routine. The problem is when you think the morning routine is what's gonna make you rich. I used to think if I just woke up at 5 a.m., I took an immediate cold shower, I read for like an hour, and then I started to work on my business maybe, or before that I went to the gym, then I'd get rich. Because I would be deserving of success. Well, spoiler alert, these things didn't make me richer. Like when I spent so much time reading books just for the sake of reading books, yes, they were non-fiction books. But, I mean, a book could be summed up in a few, like, paragraphs most of the time. You don't need to read 500 pages about why you should wake up early, really. You should just try and wake up early. And because back then I was watching so many YouTube videos, I would already know everything in the book pretty much, like 90% of it, because I was watching so many damn self-improvement videos anyway. So it's like, what was the point, you know? Do one or the other. Now, it's great if you just read a book before you fall asleep, because it's not like going on social media, you're gonna see so many new things recommended to you, and now you're gonna go down the rabbit hole and go to sleep way past midnight, like way past your bedtime, and now you can't wake up early and work on your goals. It's a vicious cycle, but I've never made as much money as when I stopped giving so much of a fuck as to my morning routine. Nowadays, what I do is I just wake up early, 5 to 6 a.m. on average, and I just make myself a cup of tea, and I get straight to work. So for me, the activities I really need to focus on, like first things first in the morning, it's gonna be scripting and recording videos. That's it. Anything else is just irrelevant. I shouldn't even focus on it. So having a morning routine is great. However, if you just obsess over the morning routine, especially if you're a newbie, all of your limited willpower is gonna go towards adhering, like sticking to this painful routine, because you're not used to it yet. And that will not make you more money. Just because you take cold showers or you get up early doesn't mean you're gonna make more money. I know tons of people who like cold showers. I know tons of people who like getting up early. They're not rich. Like, as simple as that. Think about all the people who wake up to go work at the factory. They have to wake up, I mean, they start work at 5 a.m. So they wake up at like 3 a.m. So for that reason, because it's good, positive habits, which you should have in your life, right? I'm gonna put it in D tier, because it kept me broke because I was using this routine or these habits the wrong way. So these are the main things that kept me broke and that are probably keeping you broke right now. There's ton more things I could have included in the list. In fact, I wanted to, but I mean, this video is already pretty damn long. If you want me to teach you how I've built $1,000 a day business, sometimes I've made way more than 1K in one day, I want you to click the link in the description below. Watch the free video and book a free consultation call with me or a member of my team before all the spots are taken. We'll figure out what's blocking you from making more money and what you could be selling, a digital product, so you can make that kind of money. So check out the link in the description. And with that said, I'll see you on the other side.